What's up, family? Welcome back to another episode of Shut the Hell Up and Sell Unfiltered. As always, I'm your host, Ronnell Richards. Listen, today's guest has seen this industry from just about every angle imaginable. I'm talking about Mark Sondegaard. And Mark has spent decades leading in both the direct side of sales and the channel side, which gives him a very rare perspective. So today we're going to talk about sales fundamentals that have never changed. We're going to talk about channel conflict that shows up everywhere and how AI is forcing every advisor to rethink their value. We're going to get into some fun stuff too. We're going to talk a little Ohio State football, and we're going to talk about Mark's nationally ranked barbecue team, which is fascinating. So you sell through the channel, lead partner teams, or just want to understand where B2B selling is heading, you're going to love this episode. So make sure that you lock in and enjoy this ride. All right, let's get to it.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. What? Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Yeah.
Welcome to Shut the Hell Up and Sell Unfiltered, the podcast that's not afraid to tackle the uncomfortable truths and bad habits that keep you from reaching your potential. I'm your host, Ronnell Richards, award-winning sales expert, author, and top influencer in technology channel sales. Each week, I sit down with industry influencers and top performers for bold, honest conversations that are designed to cut through the noise and deliver real, actionable advice that you can apply immediately to grow your career and boost your sales success. No fluff, no excuses, just real talk, real influencers, and real results. Let's get into it.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Shut the Hell Up and Sell Unfiltered. This one is a special one, and let me tell you why it's a special one. Because I'm joined by Mark Sondegaard, but here's the thing: before the show started, we're chopping it up, and I understand that he is unfortunately in enemy territory. He's in enemy territory, but I want to let you know, Mark, that we support you. I got you. Okay. If you need reinforcements, just let me know. You're up there living in Ann Arbor, oof, Michigan. Boo. What is it like as a Buckeye in Ann Arbor?
And, during football season, I have no problem representing the Buckeyes. And, I'm surrounded by all my neighbors are either Michigan or Michigan State fans, both sides of they work at Michigan. But I fly my Ohio State flag every weekend and wear my gear. And, sometimes you get some comments. Sometimes you get an OH because there's a lot of Buckeyes up here, too.
I can only imagine because we are everywhere.
We are.
So, I live in Georgia and of course, Bulldog fans, the serious of it. Football is very serious down here.
It is.
It's very serious. You don't wear colors or a hat or a shirt without like supporting that. Like these are like it's like almost like national pride, right?
Exactly.
If you're wearing an Auburn hat, you're not just a casual, right? And you're going to be expected to talk about Auburn. You're going to be expected to talk about Tennessee or whoever you're wearing. So I always joke with them that while it's very serious on it, it's regional. They have no idea the reach of Ohio State.
Oh, everywhere you go.
So I've got two quick stories for you, Mark. Okay. So when we were at a CP Expo here in April, I was with your guy, Rich, and just happened to be at a little bar having a couple of cocktails. And Rich made mention that he, the team up north that, he's a fan and supports. And so, of course, what happens next? A little trash talking, right? And then I just simply ended everything with a very quick OH. That's it. And what do you think happened, Mark?
Oh, you got IOs back.
Heck yeah. We could go anywhere in the country and yell out OH in a random place.
Yep.
And we're going to get some IOs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure. It's awesome.
Okay. So I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. For one, because like we were talking about before show, like where the bodies are buried, man. First, you have such a unique name, and so I've always, for decades now, always Mark Sondegaard. Like, and our paths have crossed in the past, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. But before we get into this, I have a story for you, okay? And I didn't plan to share this story, but this will help the rest of the audience understand our love and commitment for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Okay, so here we go. So you and I travel a lot, right? I am where was I at? I was in Raleigh. I was in RDU Airport. Okay, this was 2 years ago during football season. I'm in the clear line, about to walk through and do my thing. Get on my plane. I happened to be there for a charity event. It's a really cool charity event. Anyway, so I'm walking through clear, and you'll never guess who is like right in front of me in the line. You'll never guess. It's this guy who won the Heisman at Michigan. Okay. And he's kind of a big deal in Michigan. This guy by the name of Desmond Howard. So, Mark, I'm a nice guy. Right. I don't cause trouble. But I see Desmond Howard and I couldn't help myself. I see Desmond, he's right there in front of me. And I'm like, it's Desmond Howard. So as we're moving through the clear line, I just said, bro, listen, OH. Couldn't help myself. I could not help myself. I said OH. And to his credit, right on cue, he was like, hell no. And I'm like, okay, all right, my guy.
Right,
okay.
yeah.
So then Desmond and I proceeded. We went through security, and then we had a nice chat, went up to the Delta Sky Club together and had a conversation.
That's
it was
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
But like, that is my level of commitment.
Oh, for sure.
Listen, I couldn't help it, Mark. I couldn't help it.
Well, in the mid
So anyway,
in the
now you
mid
guys know a little bit
'90s,
more.
I was at a sprint event down in Amelia Island, and NCAA was having an event there at the same time. I get in the elevator, and guy goes, "Stop." So okay, hold the elevator. Freaking Bobby Bowden walks in the elevator. He goes, I go, man, I just really don't like you. And he goes, why? I said, I'm a diehard Ohio State fan. Son, I can see why you don't like me, because they had our number back then. It was like, oh my God. Then we stepped off the elevator, talked for a few minutes, but it was, just, it's fun having those types of interactions.
Isn't it? Like, it's a serious rivalry, but it's fun. I've never, it's never gotten that serious to where, it's like anger or anything like that. But it's just, I think that's what's so fun about our rivalry in college sports is that you can have that, love-hate sort of thing, but it's not that contentious. Yeah. It's just, it's fun for us.
It is.
So, anyway, as I said on the outside of this, where the bodies are buried. And, I want to speak a little bit to just like your origin story and your experience. Tell me where it started for you, how you got into this business.
Sure. Back in '85, I was running a Radio Shack in Toledo, Ohio. And one of my biggest customers, he's in all the time buying stuff. He was a recruiter. And he goes, dude, I got to get you out of here. And this company named US Sprint was hiring. And he goes, man, they're paying a lot of money. And it's a startup industry. You can do really well. It's this new long distance thing. Went and interviewed, took a while, and they finally opened the office and got hired there, selling dialers. They'd load up the trunk of your car dialers in the morning, and you didn't come back to the office until you had them all sold and all the paperwork filled out. And that's where it all started in beautiful Toledo. And like all my teammates, they wanted Toledo and all the proper. I grew up in a little farm town 40 miles away. I said, just give me all the outside territory. And I was going into like the farm implement stores and all these other little stores and stuff around the area in Northwest Ohio, doing really well because no one else was out there. I was just, and I threw on a Sprint polo, and they got mad every time I did it. But it's like, if I walk in a suit, they're going to kick me out. And they're like, okay, as long as you make your number, it's all counts. So it was great. So
that's always so interesting to think about, like the evolution in like business and how we, like there are foundational things that don't change, right,
Mm-hmm.
Mark? Like what you were doing out there, you connecting, building relationships, right? You wore the polo because that was going to make you approachable,
right.
But the fact that was like contrary to what corporate culture.
If I went back to the office, I had to change.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, but okay, I don't go back quite that far, but I do. You know, it's in telecom and everything. That was kind of the standard, right? Like because AT&T was the standard, and AT&T, IBM, these were the corporate standards of how you do business. So everyone kind of tried to emulate them. So tell me, like this thing that we now call the channel. When did you enter it, and give me that story?
That was back in probably 97, 98. I was running direct teams at Sprint, and we started doing, channel cooperation. So my direct reps could work with the channel guys. And the way it worked out is everybody else was everybody's trying to make direct run all these deals. And it's like, that doesn't work. The channel guys, they own the customers they're going into, they generally own. They've been their customers. They're, they've got the relationship. I basically told my guys, sit back, do what you need to do. If you need to create quotes, create quotes. If you need to do paperwork, but take the free money, because that's basically what it was at that point. It was 100% share. So these guys were, I said, your channel folks, they need to be your best friend, because it was getting to be a little bit of a struggle at that point. Just we had a lot of teams and a lot of people on the street, and so let's take advantage of this, and we did, and it made a big difference. And a couple years later, they quit the channel cooperation piece of it, or cut it way back. But in the meantime, it was great, because everybody's being successful that way.
That is so interesting to me, because all these many years later, this channel integration concept, so many companies are struggling with it. Like they're still like, this isn't new, but they're still struggling with their direct side of the house and their channel side of the house, and getting that sort of collaboration and having that understanding of how it works. What do you think, having been on both sides, what do you think is the biggest friction point? Why are they not having the success that they want to have? Because you're now in your role, working with, we'll get into that, but you've seen so much. Give me your perspective on what you think the friction point is, on why that collaboration is still a challenge.
I think it's the same thing that was happening back then. Everybody wants to own it, and there's only one owner. It's whoever has that relationship. And I find it with equipment companies. That's where in my present role, I find it with equipment companies a lot, where you try to register a deal. Oh no, we have it registered with this or with that, and that's great, but they're not winning the deal. Our partner, we are 98% there. All we need to do is get the deal registration, so we can get the extra 10 points or whatever it is. No, they've had it forever, and and a lot of times they're running that through the direct side of the house too. So the direct side has that person can put the yay or nay on that deal registration. And I can tell you 4 deals that one company didn't get because they tried to play hardball. We just pivoted to a different equipment company because the partner still owned the deal, and they didn't want to work directly with that organization. They needed us in the middle, because we were going to do project management. We were going to do all the single billing and all that we do. But it's just, they don't see the values a lot of times of taking advantage of who owns that relationship.
Do you think that's a failure in the C-suite or the senior leadership?
A lot of times. I think a lot of times senior leadership looks at that and go, we have our guys, we're paying our guys, they own this, they know us better than anybody. Well, yeah, they do. They know you better than anybody. They don't know the customer.
Okay. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree because these are conversations that I'm having all the time because there's so many new entrants into our space,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like lots of new companies because, pardon me, everyone sees that opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of them that are jumping into the space, they have direct sales already, so they're thinking, okay, how do we make this work? And often what I find is there's a breakdown in the education on the direct side of the house in terms of how this actually works. No, people don't have. It's one of the reasons why I've created formalized education to educate folks, but like they don't understand one how this ecosystem works and how to evolve their program to work well with it. So let's move to when you joined the dark side. When you came into the dark side. Okay, so you're at Sprint. Tell me when you got over to the dark side and who was your entry point into the channel? Like
I got
working
downsized
over
from
here.
Sprint with what was it, 40,000 of my best friends at Sprint went after the MCI merger went south. And so that late in 2001, I believe it was, and took a couple short-term gigs and then got into the channel with McLeod back in the day, at McLeod. So I was between chapter 11 and chapter 22, as we call it, with them. So got in there and ran the basically the East Coast channel for them, and it was fun. I knew how it all worked from Sprint, and just having that, it was basically a single threaded product, so you just had to go out there and do it the right way, and
Yeah.
it was not that bad, but McLeod had some issues, but
What was the channel environment for you back then when you were with McLeod? Like what were your some of your biggest challenges then? Was it like education or awareness? What was it?
it's the same thing as today, getting people's attention, making sure you're on the roadmap. That nothing's changed in this. A lot of people in the channel are in the channel because they don't want to work for anybody else, or they had struggles working with other people, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, not an entrepreneurial. Look at you, an entrepreneur that is doing his own thing, and that's what a lot of these. 90% of the channel is that, and a lot of them have really good ideas. They have trouble executing, and I think a lot of times if we work with them well, we can help them execute better. But some of them don't want to take that on. But the other piece of that is that everybody there used to be, a partner or a whatever you want to call it, TSD, a master, whatever you want to call them these days. They had a handful of strong groups that they worked with. Now they got 400 or 700 or whatever the number is, and they're all touting how many agents that they have: 7,000, 3,000, 9,000, whatever the number is. I mean, everybody throws a number out there. I mean, I look at that and I go, okay, I need 1% of that. That's virtually what I need, is 1% of those partners that they have, because everybody has these little niche things that they do. We just got to find everybody's niche things. And that fit with you, because some people do a lot of transactional, some people do data center, some people do UCAS, some people, it's all over the board. There's not a whole lot of people out there do everything. So you just got to find the ones that do the things you do.
That is one, very insightful, very simple, but a massive gap. You know that, right?
Yeah.
It's a massive gap because people, I won't even say they say that. They don't do that. What they do is they try to appeal to everyone. And instead of focusing on the partners that would be the very best fit for them, they're pitching to everybody that could potentially sell their product. Right.
Yeah.
And lacking enablement to, like you made mention of this, of like, finding that partner and then helping them to their success. I would submit to you that by and large in our space, suppliers don't do that.
They look for the plug and play
Yep.
partner.
Yeah.
And so they're not developing them. And I think, Mark, that is a massive, not only a massive gap, I think that it's going to be the reason why a lot of suppliers aren't going to be in this business for much longer, because they don't develop.
Yeah.
And that resource that we had been going to the well on for so long is a declining resource, meaning that successful plug and play partner. Meanwhile, the resource that continues to increase is new people in the space. We got thousands coming in every year with no playbooks. No, they have ideas, but they lack execution. And on the other side, you've got suppliers that aren't really committed to sales enablement and development. They want a plug and play partner.
Yeah. Well, I think the other piece of this is adding it's not a problem. It's adding some issues into it, is that you got all this private equity money coming into the channel, which is a good thing in certain areas, and it's a bad thing in others, because the only way they make money is if these folks that are taking the money keep customers for a long time. And if you look at the channel right now, you've got different degrees of that. You have people that are, we'll call them TSDs that have a 3 to 5 year turn point on most of their base. You have some that have like a 5 to 7. You have some that have like 7 to 10. And the equity money's not really going to make money on those 3 to 5 year folks too much, because they need that long-term customer value. And if you look at that, a lot of those are transactional based organizations. The ones that have the longer term are a more solution based organization. They're looking for things that are going to make things happen long term. And that's what we do as an organization. Our average customer is with us 8 to 10 years. So, and we have a half of a percent attrition rate on an annual basis over the last 5 years. So we are a good provider partner for organizations that want that long-term effect.
Okay. Why? Here's what you said: 8 to 10 years. What'd you say? Half a point? What'd you say was attrition?
0.5% attrition.
How? What are you doing? What's your magic?
I put it in two places. One is we engineer up front very well. So people come to us all the time and go, I need Cato. Okay, why do you need Cato? And we talk through it. Let's go back to the beginning. What do you have now? What are you trying to accomplish? Why do you think you need Cato? You might need Cato. I don't know. I'll sell you Cato if you want Cato. I don't care. But as we talk through that, they might just need Meraki. They might need Fortinet. They might want Velo. There's a solution out there that'll fit what they're looking for. But having our engineers run through that, working then with our setup, we work directly with the engineers for the people we sell. We work directly with that company's engineers. So we get these things set up correctly at the beginning. Then we have project management teams that are second to none. I will put them up against anybody. And then our client services group just takes care of our base. And people are, what we see is people start out with a project and then they phase through more projects. Because we offer quite a few things actually, we can then walk them through and create this long-term life cycle roadmap for them.
You know what I hear when you say that is, how you start the race is how you end the race, right? So you're starting from a point of great alignment. You're doing great due diligence on the front end to ensure that alignment. And what happens is when you do that, you have this just like organic, nice path of continued success because you started from the right place. Right. I love that. Yeah. So, hey, I want to talk about something that's a passion of yours. And so I got this call when I was visiting. I was coming up to Charlotte, and now that folks know that I'm coming up to Charlotte, and I got this call, said, hey, come on through.
And so I came on through randomly because I was in Charlotte for another meeting. Came through your office, and you were throwing down. I had some fantastic barbecue. Talk to me about your barbecue journey.
Well, that's my passion in life anymore. I mean, I love what I'm doing. I love this company, and I put them first. Close second is barbecue, and it's a family thing. We have a competitive family barbecue team, and last year we compete in what's called KCBS, Kansas City Barbecue Society. There's about 2,000 teams worldwide. Last year we were 11th in the world overall, second in brisket, 12th in ribs, or 12th in pork, and 21st in ribs, I think. So had a good year. But, we loved it. We think it was 34 competitions in 19 states. And yeah, we travel around a lot. My son-in-law does. If no one else is doing it, he's going because he owns his own business and can make himself available sometimes. All depends where I'm at in the country and what I'm doing. My son does a lot of the prep, but with 3 kids, he can't travel as much. So he gets all that going. And, but he is in charge of chicken and brisket, and my son-in-law is in charge of ribs and pork. So they split up the duties, and when they're cooking, and we just go out and compete. We just had one here in Michigan 2 weeks ago, and we won that grand champions. So
congratulations.
First in pork, first in ribs, or first in pork, first in brisket, but came in first, so that was good. And I already actually an organizer for that event, and we do another one in August. So I help organize because somebody needs to step in and do those things too. So, and I'm a certified judge, so that helps.
What? Yeah, because you know how to get the cook right.
The flavor profiles are important, especially in different parts of the country. They're not off by a whole lot, but they do change a little bit by area. Down south, you need a little bit more heat. Out east, you lean a little bit more sweet. Out in Missouri, you need, they want a little bit more sauce on there. It's not much sauce, but a little bit more. And they're a little more heat out there too. But it's got to have that real sweet up front. So,
what's your favorite style?
I really like just a light heat on the back end, but I do like Carolina mustard too. So
really,
yeah.
I feel like the Carolina mustards are more. I enjoy it too, but I feel like it's more of an acquired taste.
It is
like, the general barbecue eating public probably isn't. It's not. It's different.
It is
for them.
Yep.
And that's and probably because you're such a connoisseur and an expert. That's probably why I would venture guess.
It's a little different too. It gives you that little change of pace.
Yeah.
So, but you can't use it in. The name of the comp team is Shigging Ain't Easy. So
Shigging Ain't Easy.
Shigging Ain't Easy.
Explain that.
So Shigging is going into someone else's barbecue pit and trying to get them to give you their secrets. So you go and you shig them. Oh. So the first year we competed, it was I think 9 years ago now. We were Midwest Coatings Barbecue. My son-in-law's company's name is Midwest Coatings. He does epoxy flooring. So then we're sitting around in the winter talking about this, and this shigging shit is not easy. And it's like, bam, it hit. It was like, that's our name. Shigging Ain't Easy.
I like it. Yeah, that's much more fun. I'm a stickler for like branding.
Yeah,
that's better. And that probably helps in competition too, because you kind of got to stand out a little bit.
Yeah, like
right?
on all of our logo is a smiling pig holding a beer and a fork with some ribs on it.
Do you guys have a site or anything where people can like know where you're competing or anything like that? Like how do people know? Are you going to Instagram, Facebook? Like how do people know?
We do a lot of. My son-in-law does tons of Facebook. So Shigging Ain't Easy on Facebook. We also have a website, but that's mainly just for like vending. If people want to get have a graduation party, or we do graduate party, weddings, just regular parties on a regular basis. So.
In what region?
Mainly in our region up here, but I mean, like for special events and stuff, we've gone a lot of different places. We've done stuff down in Columbus. We've done stuff. I do Charlotte every year. I mean, my son-in-law and I drive down there, and we do the office every year. And I did an event for a partner down in Columbus last year in their office, parked in the parking lot, cook barbecue.
Mark, I don't know, buddy. Maybe there's a business in bourbon and barbecue in the future.
I'm telling you, we should just put something together and just have an event. I just scheduled one. I just scheduled one with one of our TSDs down in Texas, and it's like, let's do this because
I'm kind of feeling with your chops and my bourbon stuff. We could probably do something
that would be awesome. So like I have events that I've set up, and we call them Fire It IT Up barbecue events. And I've created a rub for those, and that is
nice.
That is it. And I've created a cookbook for that, and give those both away at the events. And I keep them small. I like them 10 to 15 people. We do a lot of like MSPs. MSPs love us, so I do a lot of MSPs, and we do here's what we're about, or if we're sharing it with another provider, here's what we're both about. And I do barbecue 101 training as part of it. And
that's cool.
That one that's questions and what should I do? And it's like tips and tricks and how to be successful cooking on your Traeger or your green egg or your Pit Boss or whatever you got at home to make sure, things turn out right. And people just miss, everything's a process, and they just miss some steps in the process generally. Or they try to do it too quick, or get things off too early, or don't let things rest. There's just a lot of those little things.
That is the thing I've learned about barbecuing and smoking. Everything's all about, like, not all, but patience, which is what I struggle with.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of patience. Listen, the seed has been planted. All right, we're gonna see where this goes, but the seed has been planted. So hey, I've got to get into. Lastly, I got to get into your brain a bit, okay? And I want to know, what do you think is the biggest threat or disruption to our space right now?
I think there's a couple things. I think AI is rearing its head in a lot of things, but that's no different than VoIP was, or MPLS, or SD-WAN. I mean, we've seen all the cycles of all these things that have happened, and AI is kind of the Wild West right now, from what I see. And I was just at a CIO event a few weeks ago out in California, and it was like 8 AI companies, and they all were up there talking about their stuff, and it's like it was rinse and repeat, except for a couple companies, which a couple of them, they had a great message and they're doing things a little bit differently, which I thought was great. And the reason we were invited out there wasn't to speak to people in front of the audience, because we've talked to a lot of them before. It was to show them how we can help pay for that, because face it, AI is not cheap. All these things, all these budgets are getting hit with all these different things that, the C-suite saying, hey, we need this, or we need that, or the IT department's going, hey, we got to do an upgrade, and they got to find money. We help people find money within their organization, either by finding money because they're overpaying for something, or they're doing menial tasks that we can do for them, or they're misusing resources that we can help with. So time, resources, and money is three things I talk about. But, coming out of that, it was like there was two companies that really made a difference, and we're actually talking with one of them about 2 deals right now that, it's like an edge product for AI to make sure you're not getting in trouble with, with everything else. It's not necessarily an AI product. It's to keep you safe with AI, and which I think is a greatly needed tool right now. But I think that's one of the things. I think the other thing is people don't know. A lot of the people in the industry don't know who they want to be, and I mean in the partner world. They're trying to be generalists, and I think they need to be more specific in what they're doing, because I think if they feel if they throw enough stuff at the wall, something's going to stick, but then they really don't have a really good message for anything. But if they try to approach things, and one of the reasons a lot of people talk to us is we have a lot of different things that we do, it can allow them to enter a conversation at a lot of different points. And if they let us educate them, they can then use that to, maybe somebody just needs circuits, maybe they need a new SD-WAN product, maybe they're just trying to save money. We can do a shared savings program where we can just keep everything the same but find savings within what they have. Do all these different things. We have lifecycle management product. We do TEM. I mean, we do a lot of different things, but it's finding where the customer need is and then working through that, instead of saying you need UCaaS, or I got this great cloud product for you. Well, I don't need a cloud product, but you do. It's this greatest product ever. Everybody needs to have conversations with the folks they're trying to get into, and find out where the issues are at, and then approach that, as opposed to, it's always been the problem with single-threaded providers. They've got the greatest product for that one thing you may or may not need. And, folks like us, and there's others like us out there, we have different approaches that you can use to get in to, and then also show you that roadmap to the future, and give you that ability to grow and keep your business safe, that you've brought onto this, your 1,000 new guys coming in every month or every year. If they keep that first guy that they get for 10 years, they've made a lot of money off of that. Yeah. If they churn it in 3, right, they're always refilling the bucket. They need to keep the bucket full. They need to keep that, that hole in the bottom of the bucket as small as possible.
What if I told you, Mark, that I believe that your two points that you made were both connected? And what I mean by that is that this AI disruption, it is changing the buying journey. And so where MSPs and TAs could be more generalist in the past, well, AI is taking the role of the generalist in the buying journey, meaning that your decision makers using AI to make buying decisions. Your suppliers and software companies are implementing AI solutions for buying journeys. And so that leaves your TA or your MSP on the outs, because now they're connecting without you. So that need to be a specialists aren't going anywhere. Specialists will never go anywhere, because at the end of the day, Mark, if you have an issue with your eyesight, well, you're going to the ophthalmologist, right? Like you're not going to ChatGPT you're going to the ophthalmologist, right? And so I think that in our business, MSPs, TAs have to. It's not about it's just good for business. No, it is going to be. Things are moving so fast. It's going to be a point to where if you're not doing that, you're just not going to be in business anymore, because you're competing. Remember what I just said? You're competing with the technology. Yep. If you're a generalist, well, again, your buyer is going to chat. Your software companies are implementing AI buying. So, why does the buyer need you? Your buyers are largely millennials now. Millennials are very comfortable with not talking to a human for transactional purchases.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have some of these social skills that we're using right now in many cases.
They're just more comfortable with it. It's, and we, first of all, we all are more comfortable, but they've come up in a world where it's just,
it's native to them.
If I don't have to talk to somebody, I'm not going to talk to them. And for these basic buying things, look at everything around us, Instacart, Amazon, we're not going to Walmart or Target like we would have 10, 15 years ago and like walking the aisles to try to find stuff. No, I go to my Amazon app.
Yep.
Right. As much as I love Costco, I'm not going to Costco as much anymore because I go to Instacart, say, oh, this is the things I need, and then it shows up here at my door.
Right. Yeah. I think the other thing with that too is that I think they can buy stuff that they need. You know, they can buy pretty much anything they need for the business online someplace. But getting that installed correctly, that's a whole nother thing. Having it project managed correctly, that's a whole nother thing. You know, who's going to then manage all those bills? Who's going to take care of it when it breaks? Those are the functions that are going to be harder to, not saying it can't be done. I mean, there's other people out there touting right now, we are AI managing all your stuff. It's like, okay, but at some point you need an engineer with certifications to fix something. So,
yep. To your point, that still goes back to your point about specialists. Mm-hmm. Here's what I mean. If I need some some brush removed in my yard out here, you know what I do? I go to Thumbtack, or I go to Yelp and digital buying journey.
Yep.
But if I need something, I need a specialist.
You need a plumber or an electrician, you know.
Yeah. I got to make sure I connect with the guy that really knows his stuff. Right. And I value that, mm-hmm. and I'm going to pay more for that. But a lot of these products that we've been selling, they're transactional products.
Very much so.
It's just so like in a transactional product, I'm going to go to just like my Thumbtack, Amazon, whatever. So even in the service industry, like we've already seen this. The service industry got disrupted, you know, several years ago, right? Like I'm just telling you right now, like that lawn care guy, that housekeeper, like all mm-hmm. like that's all become very transactional. Yeah. and people are leveraging, you probably too, leveraging technology mm-hmm. to make the buying decision, right, as opposed to what we were doing before. Anyway, this has been a great conversation, Mark, and I think we need to pick it back up at some point.
Let me know.
You have such a wealth of information and experience, and maybe, ladies and gentlemen, who knows? Maybe it's at a barbecue and
maybe there's a barbecue and bourbon event coming to you soon. Who knows?
Could be. Mark, what's the best way for people to connect and reach out to you?
Can reach me at Intelligent. I'll give you the easy one. MARKS at intelligent.com, and it's all E's, ENTELEGENT.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
Easy peasy, and that will also be in the show notes. Mark, this has been a joy, man. I've really enjoyed chopping it up with you.
I've been listening to you for years, and I finally made it. I mean, come on.
You did it. You're official. You don't need me to be official. You were official way before me, but no, it's really been a joy, man. And I look forward to the next opportunity I get to have some of that barbecue, my friend. So I'm looking for an invitation.
I'll let you know where we're going to be.
All right. Mark, thanks again.
Thanks, man.
Have a great day. To all of you guys that have checked in and watched this, I just ask that, hey, if you like this content, great. Let us know. Comment, share, all that stuff. And make sure that you're following Mark. Make sure that you're checking out Intelligent. And we love you. We appreciate you. Always appreciate. There's no greater honor than your time. And so if you've taken time out of your day to hang out with us, it means the world to me. And I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for tuning in to Shut the Hell Up and Sell Unfiltered. If you found today's conversation valuable, make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the show. For more resources, including gap assessments, custom sales consulting, or online courses designed to take your sales game to the next level, visit me at ronnellrichards.com or head over to sayless.academy. Until next time, remember, stop talking, start listening, and shut the hell up and sell.
Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out. Here to show up and show out.